Judy LaMee here, with a question for you. Would it surprise you to know that I lived in a motel for 14 years? I did. I can tell you this, mine was not a conventional childhood. I didn't grow up in a neighborhood with neighborhood pals all around. I lived on Highway 19 South in Perry, Florida, in a small motel with my mother and my two brothers. We moved there during the war years, 1942. I was an infant, my brothers were 9 and 10 years old, and the motel had been deeded to our family by my grandfather when our dad left, as a means for my mother to make a living for her young family. As I said, I didn't have neighborhood pals, but we had staying with us during the war years Army personnel because there was an Army base nearby. So we had something of an extended family. All 4 of my grandparents lived in the town, so we got to see them frequently as well. So days were made up of playing with a little dog we had, my brothers teasing me because I was the kid's sister. We had a family portrait made of the kids, actually. One day, one of my brothers in a scout uniform, the other one was a scout as well, but he didn't have his uniform on that day. And I got this wonderful little blackboard desk as a gift for stopping my tears long enough to have the picture made. My brothers thought I was a brat. I can't think why. They were special, and I adored them. I looked up to them, and they did special things for me as well. What our accommodations were at the motel were actually 3 motel rooms. My mom and I shared a room, which was also, believe it or not, the motel office and our family living room. Quite a lot to expect of one small motel room. My brothers were in the room next door, and on the other side, we had an eat-in kitchen. So that was it until I was 6 years old, and then life changed. My mom built us a big house of brick on the motel property. I had my own room for the very first time. It was wonderful in the daytime. I had room for my dolls and my toys and my books, and it was all my own space. But nighttime became fright time. I had never gone to sleep in a room that was dark or quiet or where there weren't people traipsing in and out all the time. I didn't know what to do. I was frightened. I was certain there was someone under the bed, or under the house under the bed, or in the closet in the bathroom ready to jump out and grab me. My mom, the most patient of moms there could possibly be, showed me and told me time and time and time again there was no one there. It was my imagination. And of course she was right. And of course it didn't help one bit because this little girl's imagination was just running away with her. When I was in 4th grade, my brothers had both gone away to college, so things got really quiet during the daytimes, and there was nobody to tease me and nobody for me to tease back, so I had to make up imaginary friends so I wouldn't be lonely because, remember, I didn't live in a neighborhood. I lived on Highway 19 South, a mile out of town. So I had imaginary friends that I could visit upstairs in our imaginary upstairs, which I would access by an imaginary staircase. So Carol and Buddy, my imaginary friends, kept me company for a lot of afternoons. I did have pals. I don't want you to think that I was friendless. There was a wonderful birthday party that my mother gave for me, and I can't believe how many children there were there. And I also can't believe that now, all these years later, I can name almost every single one of them. So we were friends from Sunday school, or we were friends from school, but we weren't neighborhood friends. There was no neighborhood. There were no neighbors. So we lived in this wonderful brick house, and during the time that we were there, Procter & Gamble decided to build a mill in our town. So many of the engineers and the construction crew stayed with us. They, too, became like extended family. We had long, hot summers. We had no air conditionings, but we had a wonderful screen porch. And many summer nights were whiled away with these guests and our family playing Scrabble. Lots and lots of Scrabble. It was fun, and they were really special extended family people, too. I want to tell you a little bit about my mom, who was the most fabulous single parent there could ever be. Not only did she learn to manage this motel successfully, a 24/7, 365-day-a-year job, I might add, but she also played organ in the church. She also taught piano lessons, and she was a fabulous cook. special woman. If 3 kids were to be brought up by a single parent, there couldn't have been a better one than we had. The next chapter in my life started when I was 14 years old. Mom sold the motel. We moved into town. She went back to teaching. And I said goodbye to my imaginary friends. I didn't need Carol and Buddy anymore because now I had real neighborhood pals. A new adventure was beginning.